Hi Sagittarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Alright, we're starting off with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is about collecting information. I'm also hearing grasping information, maybe something that you're processing, something that you're learning about. This is about making some type of effort to figure something out, to learn something. I'm even hearing to catch up. For some of you, this is concerning your spiritual enlightenment. I'm looking at Neptune popping out here. Neptune is all about understanding the ethereal, understanding psychology. You could be working with a Pisces or someone that has dominant Neptune in their chart. I'm hearing the word brigade. I'm looking at the Three of Pentacles and also the Three of Wands here. So we have a double three that might hold significance to you. I'm hearing something. I'm hearing master number 33. It seems like, so you could be working with somebody and there's a sense of learning things when it comes to spirituality, spiritual awareness, even topics of the subconscious space, psychology, getting a deeper look, psychosocial topics, things like that. I'm seeing that there's a sense of making progress. And I mean, this can also be working with that area of your chart with the Neptune. I'm also looking at Pluto here. There's a sense of making progress with understanding things on a whole. The Gestalt. And whoever it is that you're working with, it seems like there's a collection of information that's happening, a sorting out that's happening too. And I'm seeing you and another person here, and it looks like there's fluid conversation happening between the both of you. Maybe too, you feel like you're getting better at expressing yourself, processing, being able to understand people, reading between the lines as well. From a higher perspective too, because it seems like you're picking up on things that may not be so obvious and finding what you need in that. And you may be being more vocal too when it comes to I don't know, the way that the things that you're expressing within a conversation with someone, like maybe needs or ideas, thoughts that you're sharing with someone, and there's a sense of stability found in this partnership. I'm looking at the Lovers here. And it really does seem like, this is someone you have history with. It really does seem like this is something that you're finding stability within. It's within the balance of what it is that you're creating. You feel like you add something, then this other person adds something, and there's a nice dance that's happening here. You could feel as well, you may have your eye on someone. Remember, energies can always be reversed. I'm seeing someone directly looking at a person and wondering how their energies would mix together, or there's a sense of being like, maybe I'm interested in a partnership, maybe this is something I'm trying to create for myself, maybe even something going on in an interpersonal relationship that you already have, something that's been established. And there's a sense too of really bringing the conversation down to a grounded space. So I'm seeing something here that may be alluded to. Maybe at times you feel yourself becoming ungrounded, and there's a sense of bringing yourself back to that. Or you could be getting better also at reading energies as well. It's like maybe picking up when someone's not being upfront with you, or maybe even the nature at which they're conversating with you. And there's definitely a sense of wisdom too, I'm seeing, that's being gained as well. Because you may deal with someone that when you try to talk to them, sometimes you feel like the ego is involved. And there's a sense of calmness that I'm seeing within this. It's like maybe at one point in time, this could have had you feeling like a bit riled up, or like, I know you're not being honest with me, things like that. But now it seems like there's like even more of a patience when it comes to this person's energy. It's like knowing that I'm hearing the conversation is going to be what you allow it to be. And there's a sense of progress that you're making as well when it comes to your stability. I'm also hearing your protective abilities, and I'm seeing something coming together in a harmonious way. I'm seeing this be you and another person, and there's a sense of balance that's being instilled within the dynamic between the two of you. There's a sense too of feeling like you're getting what you need as well, and maybe this was a bit of a struggle in the past. Maybe also you could have found that you were relying on someone else to meet your needs, and maybe you're stepping into more of a place where you're like, you know what, if I need certain needs met, it's up to me to figure that out. And there's again a sense of wisdom in that you're gaining. And you could be as well applying this to past relationships too, and understanding like where your shortcomings are, maybe where the so-called maybe the shortcomings of other people, and being like, again, that mind frame of if you have certain needs, finding a way to meet them yourself rather than relying on people that are unreliable in that sense. Because there could even be things from like childhood or old friendships or partnerships, things like that. And there's a new way of assessing these dynamics and figuring out what exactly you want to do with them. For some of you too, you could be going through something and being like, you know what, this actually isn't meeting my needs. And maybe you're changing, I'm hearing the dialogue between you and another person. Maybe even the dynamic that you have with someone. I'm looking at Neptune, Pluto, Gemini, and Mercury. Yeah, you could be at a crossroads. You could be at a crossroads with someone, and the relationship that you have with them is going to change. I'm seeing you popping out here. There's definitely a sense of tact and patience that is needed for you to work through this process right now. I'm hearing mood stabilizer. It's like the more patience and finesse you're bringing into this process, the better I'm seeing it balance out your moods as well, and like how you're processing emotions, being patient with yourself, recognizing when it is that you feel more activated versus like when you feel more calm, and gravitating towards those things that bring you a sense of peace. Actively being worked on. It feels too like you're recognizing the more calm and grounded you are when you go into dynamics with people, when you are interacting, the more balanced that interaction ends up being too. So there's a sense of recognizing like your part and your responsibility within the relationships that you have. And knowing too that the only thing that you can control is how you're going to act within a dynamic, and you can't really control what another person is going to be doing. And there's a sense of peace that's gained in that, because you're kind of like letting go of responsibility that ultimately isn't yours. And maybe this was something that you had been fighting yourself on before. That could have definitely been affecting like your moods. I'm hearing variable. It's like depending on how someone acted, maybe there was a sense of like being deeply affected by that. And with the knowledge you gain of being like, well, I can only control what I can do, and ultimately I can't control what another person is going to choose to do because of free will, there's a sense of being able to let go of that need for control in that way, if you want to call it that. And it seems like we're learning a lesson here about how to get closer to your sense of happiness, your pursuit of happiness, your fulfillment, and being able to let go of the things that don't meet your expectations and just accept them for what they are. And knowing too that in the grand scheme of things that everything is going to be balanced out. Because it feels like you get to a decision where you're changing slowly. It's like this metamorphosis that you're going through right now that's gravitating around your sense of happiness. I'm also hearing composure. And the wisdom that you gain because of this, because of actively trying to find this for yourself, that state of equanimity. Yeah, it seems too like you could have faced a situation, maybe multiple situations, where like somebody let you down or they didn't meet your expectations, and it's like regardless of these things going on, there's still a sense of groundedness that I'm seeing here. Also, your confidence in knowing what's what too. That's backed by a sense of self-love. I feel like because of this process that you're going through right now, Sag, there's more of a sense of being in touch with your intuition. There's more of a sense of trusting that and being confident in what you're picking up intuitively. Trusting in the gifts and abilities that you have, and allowing that to give you the messages that you need to be picking up on right now. I really am seeing this self-work that you're doing too affect your interpersonal relationships in a really amazing way, because there's such a big sense of like patience and like riding the wave and doing the dance with your relationships, and like managing your emotions, understanding too that the more we hold on to things that are out of line with how they actually are, how that like promotes that sinking feeling. So there's a sense of like adjusting, even if something doesn't meet your expectations, there's a sense of acceptance that's being gained. And I am seeing this very much change your relationships because of that. It's like, rather than being like, if only you would be like this, or if only that had happened, or if only I had had that, there's a sense of being like, well, this is what I have, this is who you are, this is what you did, this is what's happening. Because of that, there's a sense of gratification that you're finding because of acceptance, through acceptance. And this gives you too a wisdom when it comes to being able to read energy and even foresee things as well. It seems too that because of this sense of emotional control that you're exercising, where like you are the one that's mastering your emotions, there's a sense of confidence that's gained in that, because there could have been a particular like relationship that you had where like when things wouldn't go the way that you expected them to or hoped for them to, like you could have maybe been more reactive, and because of like accepting things as they are, there's a sense of independence and autonomy that you're gaining, and a sense of confidence too, because you like the way that you're interacting, you like the way that you're responding to situations, and there's a sense of like feeling grounded and also feeling good about yourself because of the way that you're doing things now, and because of the way that you're working through things. In this spread, I'm looking at you, Sag, I'm looking at Libra, I'm looking at Saturn and the moon. This is too that notion, because I'm definitely picking up on this. Sometimes we get into situations with people where we know that if they were open, if they were receptive to it, we could be teaching them something. However, there are situations where someone is not open to learning, or they're not open to something that you have to say, or they don't want to. And there's a sense of sitting in that and being like, okay, if that's what you want, then that's what you want, and I can't do anything about that. And like sitting with that and finding peace within that, and knowing that as long as you're doing what you can from the most conscious place, you also are respecting another person's process and what they want, and knowing that you're giving that person the respect that comes with them having free choice, free will. And there's definitely a sense of like balance and peace that's gained in that process. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.